Basic entrelac. When working entrelac, the pattern will tell you whether to begin on a right side or a wrong side row. In this demonstration, we will start on a wrong side row, beginning with the basic triangle. For this swatch, I cast on 24 stitches. To begin working the triangle, on the wrong side, you purl 2, turn your work, and knit 2. Turn again, and purl 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're working one more stitch at the end of every purl row and turning and working back to the end of the row. You continue working in this way until you have a total of 8 stitches for your triangle. I'm now on the last row of the first triangle. I'm going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and one more is 8. My first triangle is worked. Now it says to repeat from the star, which is purl 2 again. So you're going to start your second triangle. Just simply keep knitting, leave these 8 stitches on hold. And you're going to purl 2, turn your work, knit 2. Turn your work, purl 3, and so on until you have your second and then your third triangle made. Here I have the finished row where I have 3 base triangles made. I had 24 stitches and each triangle has 8 stitches, so I have 3 base triangles. And a lot of people will think that there's something wrong here. As you can see, the first triangle's fine, the next 2 start to curl up, and that's absolutely fine. As we go on, you'll see how those triangles will straighten up. So next, we'll go on to the right-hand corner triangle. Right-hand corner triangle. The right-hand corner triangle begins on a right side row. I'm using a contrasting color for clarity. So from the right side, you knit 2, turn your work, and purl 2. Now you're going to increase at the beginning of the row, and to do that you're going to knit into the front and into the back of the first stitch. Now you're going to do a decrease, which is an SSK or a slip-slip knit. So you slip the first stitch and the second stitch knitwise, bring the left needle into the fronts of these 2 slip stitches and knit them together. Turn your work and purl back. So purl 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, you're going to increase in the first stitch by knitting in the front and back, knit in the front and then into the back of the stitch. Now you're going to knit 1 and do another SSK. And a nice thing about using the 2 colors is you always know your decrease when you have 1 of each color. So you're going to do slip, slip, needle in the front, and knit them together. Turn and purl back. And you're going to continue in this way until all the stitches are worked from your first base triangle. And here I have a finished right-hand corner triangle. As you can see, these stitches have all been knit together from that first base triangle, and you still have those one strange looking triangle, which we'll take care of in the next step. So next we'll move on to a right side rectangle. Right side rectangle. The right side rectangle begins on the right side. The first thing you need to do is to pick up 8 stitches along the edge of the triangle from below. So this is the base triangle and this is the long edge. You're going to pick up 8 stitches evenly across this edge. You're going to pick up and knit them. So what you do is you insert the right needle, the needle that has the 8 stitches from the previous corner triangle, from front to back into that edge stitch, going through the entire stitch there. Wrap the yarn around your needle knitwise and pull up a stitch. That's one picked up stitch. And you're going to pick up 8 stitches evenly along this edge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7, oops. And that last picked up stitch, you want to go right into the corner here between the 2 triangles to close up that space. So you've now picked up 8 stitches along the edge of that triangle. Turn your work and purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to turn your work and you're going to knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're going to do a decrease just as you did with the right hand corner triangle. You're going to do an SSK. Again, it's one of the green and one of the pink. You're now going to join this piece to the next triangle. So you do your SSK, decrease, turn, and this time you knit 8 across. Purl 8, sorry, you purl 8. Now you're on the wrong side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn. And you're going to repeat those 2 rows. So you're going to knit 7, 5, 6, 7. Do the decrease with one of each color. Turn and purl back. And you're going to continue in this way until all 8 stitches of this next triangle have been worked. And here we have actually 2 finished right side rectangles. As you can see, now those triangles have evened out. They are no longer curling to the wrong side. And you've picked up stitches here and joined them across here and done it a second time. So you now have 2 right side rectangles. Next, we'll show a left-hand corner triangle. Left-hand corner triangle. The left-hand corner triangle begins on the right side. The last row of your last rectangle worked, you will have 8 stitches on your needle. Do not turn at the end of that last row. Instead, what you're going to do is with that needle, pick up and knit 8 stitches evenly along this last triangle edge. So just as you picked up for the rectangles, you're going to do the same thing for this left-hand corner triangle. So as you did before, insert the needle knitwise into the side edge of the piece. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, 7, and 8. So you have 8 new stitches on your right hand needle. Turn your work, and whereas on the right hand corner triangle you increased at the beginning of the row, here you're going to decrease. So you're going to purl 2 stitches together, purl 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, turn your work, and knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn your work, purl 2 together, and purl 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this case you're not joining anymore, you're just decreasing for the triangle. And then you knit back. When you only have 2 stitches left on your needle, you're going to work your last purl 2 together. So you purl 2 together, but you do not turn your work. You now have 1 stitch left on your needle, and you have completed your left-hand corner triangle. Next, we'll go on to a wrong side rectangle. The wrong side rectangle begins on the wrong side. The first thing you need to do is to pick up 7 stitches alongside the triangle that you just worked. And I'm going to use the pink yarn to demonstrate this. To pick up and purl, you're going to insert your right needle from the back to the front into the side edge of that triangle. Wrap the yarn around the needle and pull the stitch through. You've picked up 1 stitch purlwise. You continue in this way from the back to the front. Wrap the yarn purlwise around the needle and pull it through until you've picked up 7 stitches along this triangle edge. And the reason you're picking up 7 instead of 8 is because you already had 1 stitch left from that triangle on your needle, and you need a total of 8. So you continue picking up until you have 7 picked up stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that last picked up stitch, get as close to this corner edge as you can. Go right into the corner right there. And you should have, do that again, right into the edge. You should have 7 picked up stitches, which you do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the stitch that was left on your needle, and therefore you have 8 stitches. Turn your work and knit 8. Turn your work, and you're going to purl 7. And then purl 2 together. So again, you're joining from this rectangle to the next rectangle, and you're going to purl 2 together to join. Turn and knit back. Knit back the 8 stitches. You're going to repeat these last 2 steps, knit 8, turn, purl 7, purl 2 together, until you have joined all the stitches from this rectangle to the 8 stitches on the rectangle below. Here I have a swatch where I've knit a bit further, but I wanted to show you how the finished wrong side rectangles work. how they look. So here we have 3 wrong side rectangles completed. Now you continue to repeat your right hand corner triangle, your right side rectangles, and your left hand corner triangle, and then do your wrong side rectangles. You repeat those last 4 steps, and before you get to the very last end triangles, you're going to end with a left hand corner triangle. And in doing that, you will have 1 stitch left on your needle. Your last row will be a wrong side row, and you have 1 stitch left. So you don't turn the work at the end of that last left hand corner triangle. And then finally, in the next video, we'll show the end triangle. End triangle. The end triangle is worked from the wrong side. Just as in the wrong side rectangle, you have picked up 7 stitches along the side edge, as I've done here, and you now have 8 stitches on your right needle. You turn the work and you knit 8. Now you turn the work and you begin by decreasing a stitch at the beginning. So you're going to purl 2 together, purl 5, and purl 2 together again. You're going to join this piece to the next one. So you're going to purl together 1 pink, 1 green stitch, and turn and knit back. So here we have 7 stitches, so you're going to knit 7. You're going to purl 2 together at the beginning and end. So you purl 2 together. This time you're going to purl 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Purl the last stitch of this section and the next stitch together. Turn and knit back. And you keep going in this way until all the stitches from the rectangle here are worked. When you're up to the point of knit 2, you're going to purl 2 together, purl 2 together, and pass the first stitch over the second stitch, and 1 stitch remains on your needle. So you have 1 end triangle complete. As you can see, it straightens out the top edge. So it looks like a bound off edge, and it's nice and straight across. So you're going to continue working these end triangles across the entire row. And that's how you do the end triangle.